So let's say you have an administrator who just told you you have to use Google Classroom. Well, the good news is if you use it effectively, I can promise you it's going to save you time in the long run. So let's start by looking at the buttons up here. This is the Apps button. And to access Classroom, which I have open here, all you do is log into your school Gmail account. And from there, you'll see the same Apps button, Google Apps or G Suite Apps button. Click on that and go to Classroom. It may not be in the same place on your menu, but if you click on it, that will take you to Classroom. Now, you're not going to have any classes when you initially open that window. What you'll need to do is click the plus sign. And when you click that, you can create or join a class. So let's go ahead and create a class. We'll say create, and we'll give it a name. Test 10, I don't know. You can give it a section, subject if you want, even assign a room number. We'll click create. The only thing you have to do is give it a class name. It may take a minute for it to actually do the creating, so just be patient while it loads. Okay, we've got it all set up here. You can select a theme once you've done that, or you can upload a photo. I don't know, I'll just click on that one. And it's very easy also to take a photo and upload that. Of course, remember that the aspect ratio has to be, well, the same as what you see here, a banner style. There we go, and it just loaded. So you can start by just sharing something with your class. And when you post that, your students will see what you've posted, obviously on the front page here. You can do a whole lot more than that. Oh, by the way, I should mention this before we get too far along. You also have a class code. And if you remember up here when we could either join or create a class, your students, of course, will be joining classes. To join your class, all you do is click here for display, and they'll see in very large letters the class code. They'll enter that code after clicking on Join Class, and then they'll be able to be part of your Google Classroom. There's other ways to get there as well, too. If you click up here, you can also see, let's see, class code. If you click on that, you can display it. But let's not get too complex here. We'll close that window. The easiest way to access this is just right here on the front page, and click on that little four angles there. All right, let's go to classwork. So Stream is the main page, the front page of your class. If you go to classwork, of course, that's where you're going to actually assign work to your students. So we can create, and you've got a number of choices here. Let's just start with an assignment. So this could be a basic assignment. Let's see. Write your life story. Okay, and all of your instructions, of course, would go down here. Give it a grade. We'll make it out of 10. You can assign a due date if you like. All you do is click, and I'll just make that next week at some point. And we can give it a topic once you have topics. We'll get to that in just a minute. And originality reports. This is an optional add-on. You may or may not have that, depending on your school. What that does is it allows you to check for plagiarism. I'm just going to leave that off for now. And we'll click Assign. And that's the most basic style of assignment right there. If we go back to Stream, it will appear in the stream, or at least it should. There we go. Bill Kingsland posted a new assignment, Write Your Life Story. They can click on it here, and the students won't see this, but they would see any instructions that you had listed here. To get back to your class, click up here, and there we are. We're back in the main page again. Let's go back to classwork. Most of what I do is between Stream and classwork. You can have a look at people as well. Of course, there's going to be no one in here yet. No one's joined my class. But once students do start to populate this page, you'll know that, that you've been successful in getting them in your class. There's also marks as well, too, but I won't be covering that in this video. So back to classwork. Let's just say that we want to make another assignment. Create assignment. So we'll do your hero's life story. A bit of a theme going on here. Make that out of 10 marks as well, too. And we'll make the due date for that a week later. I won't worry about originality reports, and we're not going to worry about complex instructions. But of course, this is where you would add any instructions that you'd like to for your students. Okay, that looks fine for now. We'll click Assign. and we've now got 2 things inside of our classwork. You can imagine that this will build up during the course of the year, and so a nice way to clean things up a bit is to create topics. And so let's just do a topic called essays. We'll click add, and there's nothing in it right now, but what's neat is we can just drag things. Once you have topics, we can drag them into whichever topic there happens to be. Let's make another topic just for fun. Okay, so we've got research essays and essays, and we can actually move those around. All I'm doing is dragging them. So if the current, let's say that essays is now complete, and research essays is the current topic, we can just move that up to the top simply by dragging it. Let's create an assignment inside of there, and it would be a little more complicated this time. So research essay, okay, we'll make this one out of 10. I'm not going to assign this a due date right now. We can always do that later. And you notice that we have some other choices under this tab. We can assign it right now if we want. We can schedule it, or we can save a draft. I'm just going to click assign. And I'm going to put that into research essays. And now you can see how this is starting to take shape, this course. If we go back to stream to our main page, you'll see that all 3 of those show up here in the order that we entered them. I'll go back to classwork, and there are a couple other things that I should mention. For example, I'm going to open up a new tab here, and I'm going to look up Einstein, and I'll go to the Wikipedia page. I'm going to copy that, and if we go back here, write an essay on Albert Einstein. What I could do, I'm going to edit this, and this is something you'll commonly want to do. You decide, oh, gee, I want to add some more information inside of here. Simply click edit. And now I could add to the instructions, but I can also put a link. And so you notice there's 4 little buttons down here, 4 icons. The last one is link. So I'll add a link. There we go. And so that's going to link to the Wikipedia page. I could attach a file as well. I can also attach a file that happens to be in my Google Drive. I can link to a YouTube video, or I can do what I just did, add an actual link. I'm going to click save. So let's just go to YouTube. We're going to look up Einstein. And let's say that there happens to be a video that I want to share on Einstein. I'll just take this one here.
Yeah. Excuse me.
And we'll go back. We're going to edit this once again. And now what I'm going to do is go to YouTube, the YouTube icon here. I'll paste in what I copied. I'll search for it, and there we go. Click add, and now that also becomes part of this assignment. Students can instantly link to this. One of the most handy things for me is the second button in, because with this, what I can do, and you can only imagine that if you have multiple classes, or if you have a rubric that's shared among multiple assignments with different classes, what this allows you to do, it's very powerful, is you can share a Google Doc, and for example, it might be, well, here, I'll share the classroom session right now. I'll add that on there, although it's obviously not going to help, but I'm working from that right now. But let's just have a look at what this looks like. So if students were to click on the video, obviously that would open up this video, and they could click on YouTube and actually take them to a specific window with just that video. They can also, at this point, they could go to Wikipedia by clicking on that link. I'm going to close that down. Or they can open up this document which we attached. Now, this is the magic part. So let's pretend that this is actually a rubric. And let's say that this is a rubric that I may use, again, for multiple assignments among multiple different courses or instances even of the same course. So if it were an English 10 course, say, for example, and I had 3 or 4 blocks of that, I might want to reuse that same rubric. Well, this makes it very simple. What you can actually do is if you were to make changes, if I make changes inside of this document, it would update anytime a student accesses it in real time. from any course which link to it. This can be really handy, and it's certainly saved me a lot of time. What I often will do, if I have complex instructions that go along with a particular assignment, is I'll link to a Google Doc, and then I'll make the changes in that doc as I need to. And it makes all of the changes for the students, again, in real time. That way I don't have to put a complex set of instructions inside of here. In fact, what I might do is say something like this: refer to the Google Doc below. Okay, we're going to add one more assignment, and this is another way. It's kind of like what we just did, where you can share something with multiple assignments. Like, once again, if this were a rubric, and that rubric applied to, say, this assignment here, I could very easily go in and edit this. Oh, clicked on the wrong one. Very easily edit this and add that same document, the rubric, let's pretend, to this assignment. Okay, I'm going to cancel that. Let's add a new assignment now. We'll create an assignment, and this is going to be again, we'll make this out of 10 points. But what is really neat is, let's say that I have multiple courses. Okay, well, all of my courses are listed here. And what I can do is check off all the courses where I want to apply this individual assignment. So right now, if I click Assign, it's going to submit this into 4 different classes. Now, this is really handy. It's especially handy, again, if you have multiple blocks of the same course. You can create a different Google Classroom for each class. You'd probably want to do that so it doesn't get too populated. And then when you create a new assignment, you would assign it to all 4 simultaneously, as long as you make sure to check off all the right buttons here. You need to check off each of the correct corresponding blocks. If you don't do that, there is another way. So if you forget to do that step, what you can do is you could go to a different class, and you can actually assign, well, here, let's go to let's go to Classroom, and let's go Reuse Post. And so what I'll actually do is pull something that I've assigned to another class into this class. Here we go. I'll just grab First Animation. I'll click Reuse. And so there's an assignment that I've created for a different course, and I want to pull it into this class. That can be very handy as well, too. All right, at this point, we've made a number of assignments. Oh, by the way, this shows up as a draft. And once we edit this as a draft assignment, and once we can set a due date if we want. Once we actually click Assign, then it will show up inside of our feed. And you notice by default, it's not actually put into one of our topics. We have to actually drag it into a topic for it to go there. Oh, no, yeah, pardon. And it looks like what it did was, it was the First Animation project was in a topic already, because I didn't create this inside of this class. And so when it moved it, it brought the animation topic with it. All right, the only thing we haven't really talked about is marks and submitting, but this is very, very simple. If I go back to the first assignment I put up, Write Your Life Story, and we go down to View Assignment, students can actually upload. When they see this and read it, they'll have an upload button here. So long as they've logged into their school Gmail account, all they have to do is upload here, and then you'll see the student work in this window, and you'll be able to grade it right here, and they'll also be able to securely see only their own marks. Very, very handy. It's absolutely outstanding software. I love it. It's a time saver. And the last thing I should mention, if we go back to our list of classes, let's say at the end of the year or the start of the next year, let's say that you want to recreate that same course and you wish, it's so time consuming to have to recreate all those assignments. Well, if we go to that test class we just made, you simply click here and you click copy. And what this will do is produce that entire course all over again, except for that the students who had populated the original course will not be in this one. It's an empty version of that course, but it's got all of the assignments in there. The assignments are all hidden, but if you remember, we had to, let's just go back and have a look. With the assignment that I copied over, we had to go in, we had to actually edit the assignment, and then we had to click assign down here once we had given it a date or once we were ready to assign it. And so it would have remained hidden to the students. The same goes for copied courses. Every assignment inside of a copied course is hidden until you purposefully assign it. All right, I think we've covered enough. Hopefully that's a good start to using the program. That's all for today. Over and out.